So Mike and I woke up bright and early at 5 o'clock in the morning to hit this beautiful landscape before it got terribly hot. Unfortunately, the internet had failed on me in the night and my upload didn't go through. So we waited around an extra 3 hours to make sure we got that done. But now we're out at it. So we're in it. This is all burn area we just got in. I think this is a promising sign. A lot of these places go right through this main road. I think we're gonna be able to find some good stuff. In this big area, I say big area, we were given a KML that consisted of 40 some sites. They've kind of been condensed into 3 large areas, just kind of randomly to look at. But on our way out to them, we've been kind of hitting some of the other KMLs to see if we can see anything. This is one of them. Obviously there's been fire through here, but I'm not seeing any saplings except for this little guy. But from what I've seen so far from the work we've done, or the work that's been done, we see a lot more than one little sapling when there's been a replant. So on the next area. All right, here we are in the heart of another area, and I'm still not finding any trees. This area is very heavily vegetated as well. I'm not going to put the drone up if it doesn't make sense to put the drone up, I don't think. I'll get for additional guidance on that, but I think we're going to need a liaison with each of these areas, someone who can get us out here, get us on the properties, and show us where the trees are. Also, a lot of these terrains are such that in order for us to be flying within FAA regulations, we can really only make pretty small scale maps with what we got going right now. We're in our first official big area, and it is devoid of saplings so far. We're gonna get in and check it out. This is also just challenging terrain to put a map in, and especially if there's no reason to do it. And just to give an idea of what this particular area looked like, this entire KML was full of these dead trees, still standing. There were no trees on the ground in this particular one. So this is as far as we're going over here today. We got a few trees, but fortunately we're in our KML. We're in the area. This is what it looks like. I've been walking around. I haven't seen a single sapling. All right, we're up here in another area of the block. We got some stuff up here. There's like pink and yellow flagging and trees. We've got this thing on the ground. I don't know what it signifies. Still no saplings. We have a little activity. I'm torn on whether to do a map up here or not, just to give something, but it just seems so useless. You gotta fly pretty high in this stuff. There's not saplings here. Now I'm in the top corner of our last KML from the block, the big one. There's just nothing here, guys. I don't know what else to say. We need to coordinate better to see where the platting is actually taking place. What I'm noticing is there's definitely fires been located in these KMLs. Is where these, because there's places that have been, places here that have been hit by fire, and there's places that haven't. And that's what it looks like the KMLs kind of correspond with, is fire areas. But what I'm seeing is usually the remediation that precedes a lot of the planning that we've been seeing so far, it's just not here. It's yet to be logged. No weed abatement or anything like that. Not that every site will do that, but this one just, it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing any planted trees here. Well, as we stop at this road, we start to see some sapling growth. We're going to take some photos. Again, we don't know for sure if this is, doesn't really feel like this is what we're, I don't know. There's a bunch of them. Get up here a little bit more. And again, not sure that these are very steep here too. Our trees, but we're seeing them up here. That's probably not one. Some of them are a little bigger. Here's one. Here's one. Any more? One down there. Oh, this is on a line. One here. This one's kind of on a line. One here. One here. One here. We might have a bingo. Oh yeah. Some more up there. Okay. Okay. There's just enough uncertainty for us here at this site and enough saplings that we're going to do a little smaller scale sort of thing for here. This site, or this area isn't very big anyway. We're gonna do a pano and then potentially a map. If we can get the high ground, there's another road up there. We're gonna go up there and potentially make a map. You can't see it very well in this video, but there's trees planted all the way up this little trough that sort of intersects the center of the screen. And this is what we're seeing a lot. It's like almost like there's something dug and then the trees are planted like all along it. And we see this a lot. If you can hopefully see this, we have to do all these maps offline when we're out here so remote. So what I'm doing here is just screenshotting a location I have on an offline map to see where I'm at, because I've located some trees here. The reality of it is it's too big for me to map just one flight anyways, so we're going to cut it into sections if I have to, but I'm just going to get this place where I know the trees are, and I'm going to utilize the screenshot when I get up on the top road to position myself and cut down my map. So in order for us to get the safe high ground in this piece of land here, we're gonna have to try and see if we can get up this path here and locate somewhere up there so we can safely do this map. Putting the 4Rental through some work. The 4Runner rental, we're putting this 4Runner through its, we're getting our money out of this 4Runner.
Big time.
This is quite a hill. So here's this hillside we just drove up. You can see kind of it is bound sort of by these roads. So you got the bottom road and then that road that goes on the top of the hill. That was our boundary. And then just in between this road, like everything in here is where we see just abundant saplings. There's a lot of little trees. You can't see it from this, but they're in here. We tried to get a map here. It was a little smaller scale map. We just kind of got the corner. And again, this is just what this hillside looks like. Okay, now I found a few more little saplings. Again, they're kind of in a line. Up in here. And that guy's one. And there's some more down here. Okay, but it's going to be exceedingly difficult to get these into a map. I have to safely fly. I mean, maybe 150 feet is the safest I can fly these at. These are pretty big trees sometimes, and then it's got to adapt to the terrain. We're gonna try though. I'm seeing a bunch of saplings, so I just wanted to get out and document. They're all in a line. I think this is good. I wanted to show this FPV video of the area. Here's the hill we just drove up. You can kind of see this road in the middle. This is the one we're parked on. That is the boundary line. Over here to the left, there's still a lot of trees planted. To the right is the area where the green trees are, actually where our actual KML was located. Over here, wasn't our area. There were trees planted, but I couldn't justify doing a map when it wasn't in our area. I don't really know how to handle that the best. That's just something we're gonna have to sort out as we move forward. But this is what this whole area kind of looked like. As we drive out of here, I'm noticing saplings all over. They're regularly spaced. This is on the opposite side of our KML. This is not in our KML. I just got a map that I hope will be representative of both, but it's extremely difficult to fly. Some of these trees are upwards of 100 feet tall. You can't fly it very safely, very close to get as close as you need to get the resolution you need. I'm going to stop here in a second and walk through and show you again what some of these look like. Here I can this is kind of more of the landscape we're more used to seeing when we find these trees planted down here. They're in a row, they're all over the place, they're evenly spaced, but this isn't our KML. So I don't exactly know what to do. We tried to make a map on either side. I don't think a map's going to pick these up anyway. These are tiny, tiny trees. It's gonna be hard to distinguish them from other stuff. Yeah, this is definitely the side that's reforested. Unfortunately, we spent most of our time on the other side of it today. We got some good stuff from the other side. We got some valuable stuff. I think this is just as valuable. As you see, more trees. We need to figure out dialing the accuracy of these planting sites. I'm not sure how to do that. Coming around the corner, we hit this landscape. This is obviously had some stuff done to it. This is one of the KMLs that was random and one of our contingency ones. I'm gonna check it out, but it looks potential. Finally, success. We've hit one that has been managed post-fire. It's been logged, stuff is out of here. They've piled up a lot of dead stuff, burned that, like all this. You see these piles like this all over the landscape, and then you see these guys, which are actually very nice size for picking up with the drone. And again, they're just on a grid all over the place. They're gonna stick out. I think this wasn't one of our assigned places, but this is one of the KMLs in the master KML. I'm gonna do some work here. Cool. Okay, we've decided that since this is obviously a hot area, a good area for us to map, we are going to move on to our last portion of the map to get that one knocked out for the day, or see if it's even worth it. And then if we can, come back here and take care of this as well. Probably hard to pick up, but there are just trees all over the place up in there. This whole landscape is dotted with the tiny little trees that you saw. What we're noticing too as we look over at Micah's side of things, like this landscape is just entirely full of saplings throughout the whole thing. No one there. But it's not an arcade. There's no area for it, so I don't know how to proceed. Yeah, from what I've seen from the last few missions and us being out here and looking at this stuff, this place has definitely been managed and replanted. It is, however, not a part of the areas we were given. So I'm not going to waste any time, and I'm also not going to step on any potential toes by flying a drone on somebody else's land. Bingo, we are here. We are in our area. We are in one with lots of saplings. Done lots of work. We're gonna find a good spot to do a map here, a representative map. I might do two of them, a small one and then a bigger one of the whole site. So we'll just see how things go when we get here and get set up. All right, this site was called Kingsley Glade. You can see there's stuff all over here. Take a little tour here while we can. Boom. There they are. Yep, this is the landscape. This is the landscape we're looking for. The saplings are just all over the place. They're sticking out real nice. Yes. I'm gonna get some high ground here and do what I can for a map. Now we've got the high ground, and this whole thing has just been beautifully managed, and there are saplings everywhere. Mike has been getting pictures on the way up. Here, let me grab that from you. And this is going to be a good site. See, setting up my flight control center here, just surrounded by saplings in this landscape. And we're going to do a map. Here is an overview of the Kingsley Glade area we did. It kind of all looks like this is kind of the area I mapped that we kind of go through right now. It was a little too big to get the whole thing. you get an idea. I was trying to get some of the saplings coverage here. I don't know if really able to pick up. I can pick up on it, but then again, I was there. You can't see it here. But this is definitely, I just want to give you an idea how big this site was. So all this sort of bare land is stuff that needed to be mapped. We wanted to map fairly close to the ground. We just needed to do it was a pretty big map. So we constrained it to basically this kind of smaller portion here that was right in front. We got in the middle of it and just mapped that. And I think it worked out pretty well. You can see from the other. We got our maps done. I did one at 200 feet and one at 100 feet. I hope they show, these trees are definitely here, but whether or not they're going to be able to be picked up on these maps is another thing, you know. But all the area that I've flown, like everything is covered just like this. Everything that looks like this, everything that's been managed and taken care of, has saplings planted too. This place has a ton of saplings. They're big. This wasn't one of the maps we were given, but I'm going to make a little map here anyway. And here what we found, this area in particular, the saplings are thick. Everywhere, they're everywhere. This has been managed. A lot of stuff has gone on as far as like getting the logs out, everything else. And then someone has clearly come in with a very purposefully planted our saplings at very regular intervals, which is what we're looking for. Another nice FPV view of this site. I think the trees show up really well in this one. So it was good to go through. You know, we're always trying to figure out the best way to show these trees. I think the FPV is really powerful if you have the right lighting, the right spacing, you see here, I see a lot of trees anyway that are been planted and they're kind of gridded out. And then you just get an overview. So this whole area is like that. This whole area is full of those little tiny trees we've been seeing. It's always fun to put the FPV up and spin around it like this. You can see them here. They're all over this hillside. Again, everything's been managed. They burned out a lot of the old timber. A lot of the old timber had been logged, removed, otherwise removed. Here I got a nice line flying directly over top of trees. They're very equally spaced. They're very systematically put in. This turned out to be a really good site for this study. We made it down the mountain. Trust me when I say it's a long day. Well, you can't see it now. It's 104 degrees out. Woo! Time to put on some sandals.